Hi everyone, it's Scrap Lady here. I have a few project shares that I'm going to show you, things that I've been working on, and also I had an MRI of my knee. As many of you know, I've been having major knee issues, and unfortunately I need to have a knee replacement. Second knee replacement. Not very happy about it. Had the right knee done 3 years ago, and now I have to have the left knee done. Unfortunately, I can't have the left knee done until I take care of some other medical issues. So the pain will go on. It's not good, but what am I going to do? So I'm actually going to see my primary care doctor tomorrow, and there's no shots that they can give me in my knee that will help me. Cortisone doesn't work. I got the Synvisc 1, and that's when I started having problems, but the problems were obviously there before. I don't know why, that brought out the problems. I don't really know. But anyways, yeah, there was a lot of significant changes in my knee. Like, the cartilage is totally gone, so I'm bone on bone. Not a good thing. So I have to somehow deal with the pain until I can get my other medical issues taken care of. And it's probably going to be several months before I can have the knee surgery. So I have a wheelchair so that I can get out, because literally I can hardly walk. I use a cane around the house. It's very difficult for me to get up and down the stairs, so I do that as little as possible. And when I go out, I have the wheelchair and Jack pushes me around. So I am going to look into getting some kind of motorized not a wheelchair necessarily, but something motorized, so that I can actually go out and not have him have to push me. So I have been dealing with the pain and just kind of saying, it's going to get better, and it's, never really thought that this knee was that bad. So anyways, like I said, I'm going to see my primary care doctor tomorrow. We're going to talk about pain management and taking care of my other medical issues that I need to deal with before I can have surgery. And then hopefully in the next several months I'll be ready to have surgery. So we'll see what happens. But I am going to have knee replacement at some point. Anyways, that was my happy making news for today. Could be worse. I'm doing a lot of crafting, which is a good thing. I'm not doing much cleaning up, but that's okay. I cleaned up enough to have a nice space for me to work and to be able to have access to my things. And I'll do a little at a time. Like I said, could be a lot worse. So I'm going to stay positive and deal with the issues that I need to deal with, and then get my knee replaced. The other knee was very successful for the most part. I mean, I can't complain too much. I don't have any feeling in my knee, the right knee. There's no, from like the kneecap just below, it's numb. But it doesn't really, I'm used to it, and so it doesn't really affect me that much. Obviously I can't kneel. I do if I have to get down on the floor for something, but it's difficult. But it's not a huge issue. It was overall a success, the other knee. So this knee, I'm sure will be a success too, and I'll have 2 new knees. sad thing is that at my age, I'm 53. Yes, I just said that to everyone. I'll have to have them done again. They don't last forever, and more likely than not, 15 years or so. I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm just going to do what I need to do at this point to be able to have the surgery, and then go from there. So, anyways, onward. I wanted to share with you something on the album that I did the tutorial on, the flap album. I did something a little wrong, but not necessarily wrong, but depending on how you put the album together. So I'm talking about the binding. I use cloth for the binding, okay? So there's chipboard underneath here, and then cloth here, and then this is paper, okay? The other thing is when I did the hinge system, as you remember, I put the tyvek on the back of the hinge system. The tyvek actually needs to go. It's not a big deal, but because it still strengthens it, but the tyvek needs to go here before you put anything together. Okay, you're going to take your front and your back piece and your spine piece, okay, and you're going to take a piece of tyvek, and you can either, if you have tyvek can be, you can buy it at office supply stores. They have tyvek envelopes. They're a little on the expensive side, but when you have them, they'll last you forever. They come like 50 in a box, and you're only using a piece of the envelope every time. The other thing is if you get packages that have tyvek envelopes, keep the packages and reuse the tyvek. Also, I have used duct tape paper. You know, the duct tape that comes on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I've used that underneath as a reinforcement. So what you would do is you would take your chipboard before anything is done to it, front and back, and the spine piece, and you would cut your tyvek so that it comes in about 2 inches on each side. And depending on what you're going to do for a cover on the book, especially if you cover the book in paper, the whole book in paper, you really should have the tyvek. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your 3 pieces down, and you can cut your tyvek 2 inches longer than your book so that you can wrap it around on the inside like I did with this, okay? That gives it more reinforcement. So you're going to go, again, 2 inches extra on each side here. It's going to come in 2 inches here and 2 inches here, and then cover the spine. So whatever, this was, I think, like, let's say 2 inches. So this, it would be 2 plus 2 and 2, so 2 for 6 inches. And then this book was 6.5 inches. And so if you wanted it to go over, you know, to wrap it around to give it more reinforcement, you would do 6.5 inches plus, you know, 1 inch on each side, so it's 8.5 inches. So that's what you would do with your, or you could just go to the top, whatever you wanted to do. But if you're covering it with all paper, if you do the tyvek on the outside before you cover it with your paper, it's going to give you a lot more reinforcement here on your seams, because paper tends to crack easily, you know what I mean, from opening and closing. So it's going to give you more reinforcement. More reinforcement there. So I am going to put a note on the part 3 video referring to this, and I'm going to refer to this video as Mini Flap Album Part 4 plus Project Share, so that you will hopefully, you know, I'll put a note annotation in saying to watch this part before you actually do that. So that was my little goof. It wasn't major because, again, it's not a bad thing to have good reinforcement for your hinge system. But usually when you put when you glue your hinge system, I mean, you're using either the red line tape or you're using the whatever other kind of tape, and that gives good solid reinforcement in and of itself. So that was the one thing that I wanted to share with you. Not a major thing, but it will just give you better reinforcement. So the next thing, I haven't decided what I want to put on the cover and the back yet, so I haven't done that. But I have done a few little embellishments on some of the pages, and I just want to tell you a little bit about doing some of the embellishments too. For instance, this page right here. Okay, you can see how I have this little, what I did was I cut this from another piece. See, it's how it's this piece right here. Okay, so I cut that. So the best way, and then you can actually stick something in there. You could actually, okay, so something wouldn't stay in there, but if you had a picture, you could mount the picture like a little bit inside the pocket like that. Okay, so it's not really a pocket, but it's a decorative piece. So the best way when you do things like that to even pockets and everything, and some of you may know this. So you're going to cut out, fussy cut whatever you want. You can do it one of two ways. You want to reinforce just the paper that you have. So you can take some extra of your craft paper, stick it on the back. Depending on how thick your craft paper is, you may want to double layer that. And then, you can glue that on and then do your fussy cutting, or you can do your fussy cutting and then stick it on here and cut over it again, depending on how thick your thing is going to be. That gives your embellishment just some extra, it's really stiff, and I actually did pop dots on this, so it gives it some extra support so that it doesn't come apart or it doesn't rip as easily as if you just had it a single page. So the other thing which I didn't do on this book that I'm going to tell you to do, and it would have been difficult with these that I did, but I have my Fiskars fuse, and so I cut out these different things with my Fiskars fuse and made pockets. So this was with my, and I matched it up to the paper, and I took one of my glaze pens and I just went around the edge with a gray so that you could actually see that it was a pocket there since I lined it up exactly. And then I made these two tags with, and I did not, the tags I didn't double up on. I could have, I could have added the extra paper to it. It would make it more sturdy. And the other thing is, if I did add the craft paper, all I would do is cut it out from my fuse, cut an extra piece out, so I wouldn't have to do any fussy cutting. But if I had this on the back, not only would it make my tag more sturdy, but it would also give me a blank space for journaling. So the fuse is wonderful. You ink the plates. You have to look it up, the Fiskars fuse. And so this, you ink it, and then it embosses it, and it puts the ink on. I absolutely love it. And this is another one. So there's a pattern on there, and you buy the you buy the cartridge, the die, and then you can buy the expansion kits, which has just the I think they're doing away with the fuse. I remember a while ago some of the Joanns had it on clearance in all the dies. Little did I know I was going to pick one up so cheap at Goodwill. But see, these are the these go into the cartridge. So when you get it, it looks like this. Okay, so you take this out, and you can cut this by itself. It would just cut the square just by itself, and then it comes with two, I don't know what you call these things, but it comes with two of these. And what you do is you take this orange case, okay, and you take the die and you put this in the orange case, and then you put your template on top of that, okay. And what it does is, if you see when I take it out of, see how it's raised, and you ink it. This is the time when you ink it so that your ink doesn't get on the edges here because it's raised up. So you ink this part right here, and then you take it out of the tray, and then it drops the thing down. And then you have your top plate that you put on it, and you run it. You put your paper on it and the top plate, and you run it through your fuse, and it cuts the pattern out, embosses, and inks. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I know that Joann's, the few Joann's that have them, not all the Joann's have them anymore, they are $69.99 right now. And I believe they are 60% off. And they, these are in the range, these are like $13, and then the expansion kits are like $6 or $7 for the expansion. But I did buy one of this, one die and one expansion set for $15, and that was shipped on eBay. So they do have some that are inexpensive on eBay sometimes too. So I have 3 different dies, which is plenty, and the expansion kits. I have this one, the scallop square. I have the tag with the expansion kit, and then I have the picture frame, and what came with the machine was the scallop circle, and I have the expansion kit for that as well. So I am loving this, and I'm actually using the machine for all my die cutting pretty much. If I know I'm going to be using these, you can use it with all with everything that you have die cut. You just use the same plates that you would use for, this is the frame, and I bought the expansion kit for that too. And actually I have 4 of them. Oh yeah, I have this one too in the expansion kit, and then I have this is the tags. So anyways, so you can use, like, if your Cuttlebug A, B, and C plates right in the fuse, you can do everything right in there, which is really nice. But you can see videos for it on YouTube, and if you can get it cheap, that's a good thing. So anyways, so I put these 2 tags here. Now the other thing is, if you want to make a pocket, an ordinary pocket, okay, this happened to be the cutout shape, you know, from the fuse. So I could have cut out a second piece. But if you want to make an ordinary pocket, what you're going to do is you're going to, whatever size pocket you want, you're going to do is score a 1/2 inch in here and a 1/2 inch in on the other side, okay? And do it like you would do, and then you're going to glue this part here and glue this part here. You're going to use a liquid glue. When you put pockets on, you always use a liquid glue. If you want to, you can even score this and fold all of the sides up. And then that gives extra space, you know, for your pocket. It makes it easier to open and whatnot. So basically, you know, anytime, you don't have to do this, but if you're just doing fussy cutting for embellishments or things like that, if you're doing stickers, you can even put your stickers on on your craft paper and cut around it, and give reinforcement to your stickers too, and then you can also put them up on pop dots and things like that. So the only things that I've done is I showed you that pocket, and then I did, this is also, I cut this with my fuse, and that's a little pocket too. You can put stuff in there. And then I did one more. Yeah. And then this is the same thing. I had the square, and this is the embossing and inking, and it comes out like that. And then this one, I love this tag. And this is just, you ink up the cartridge, you put your paper on top, stick it in the machine, you stick it on the, put your top piece on, you run it through the machine, and voila, you have this beautiful design. So I'm really, really loving it. So that's the embellishments that I did for the book. And like I said, reinforce your embellishments if you want them to last longer, if you want them to be more sturdy. Just a suggestion. So I will cover the front and the back at some point. So if you have any questions on that, I'm hoping that I explained about the tyvek better. It goes on the outside before you cover your book. And then you could cover your book with paper or whatever else you want to cover with. So the next thing that I did today was, I have been thinking, I've been using my dies more, and I have a lot more since I went on that trip. And so I was thinking, they're just in, I have a cart and they're just in the drawers, and I still take them out and everything and keep them in their packages and stuff, but then there's that sticky and you gotta pull them off and they seem to bend. And so I remembered when I was on my trip at, I think it was a Goodwill store, I bought, this was in a package. I keep dropping things. My goodness. This is sticky magnetic stuff. And I was thinking, oh, where is that? It was where I'm pointing, back there on top of that blue box. I turned around and went, oh, there it is. So look at what I did. Now these I bought at, when I was in Lancaster at that reuse store for 60 cents a piece. I have like 4 or 5 of them, I think. So what I did was, I had other things in here, but now this is perfect for this. I covered, see it's stuck on the back, covered the inside of this, and I put all my dies. Not all of them, I'm not done yet. I have another one to do. I have one more box like this to do, so I have two of these so far. So now, all my dies, and this one I can probably move things around and actually put more dies on than what I have on. So now I have all my dies, dropping on the floor, in these magnetized. And I got that magnetic stuff for $2.99. I have enough to make for 3 boxes. And that should be enough for what I need for my, little dies like that. So I was so excited to find that today and to get my dies organized. And I have one more box. The box was downstairs in the basement, so I couldn't go down and get it. So next time I venture down there, or Jack does, or whatever, I'll get that and make the last box and put the rest of my magnetic dies in there. So that's really cool. So the next thing, I've been busy today crafting, which is good. And so I am going to do another video, but I'm going to do an ATC artist trading card. It's not a swap. Okay, so I'm going to do a challenge, and I'm going to ask everyone to send, who wants to, everyone has to, no, everyone who wants to send me an ATC card, and I will send you an ATC card. So instead of doing a swap or anything like that, I figured all you have to do is send me one ATC card, just one, and I'm going to get some of those things to put them in. And so I've never made ATC cards before, so I started making them today. And I know that I'm going to have to make, a few. And the first thing I did was I had some cereal boxes and things like that. So I cut them all up into 3.5 by 2.5, the measurement that the ATC cards are supposed to be. So I cut a whole bunch of those. So I have those all ready, and it makes it nice and sturdy. And then I just kind of was looking through my paper and different things, and I just started going to town. The other thing that I did was I watched a lot of videos, and you know how they have all the information on the back. Well, you can get printable backs, printable the stuff, this, okay, I'll just show you. So you can get these for free. You just type in printable ATC card backs, and then title, date, artist, and contact, okay, and you can fill it in. I chose this design. I love bright colors and things like that, and I really loved this design, so that's what I chose for the back of my cards. I just printed up a bunch of them, and then I'm just going to cut them. I printed them on cardstock, and then I just cut them, and I have a whole bunch cut already, and I have a whole bunch more to cut. So, I just keep those, and then I stick them on the back. So, this is one that I did with, this is from the Recollections Simply Pastel paper. Remember when it went on clearance? Well, this picture of the rose is right here. Where are we? This one right here. And it's pretty close to exactly the right size. So I cut that, and then there's a page that has some little cutouts. So I cut out, where is it? This says beautiful. Right here, cut that out. So then I used a clear glaze pen to kind of just go over the lines of the rose. Just kind of gives it some sheen. And then I used another glaze pen to go around the edge of the card. So I don't know if you see, see how you can see the little shine to the flowers? It's because I used that pen. Put the 3 little flowers on top. Chose this as a background, which is in that same paper pad. And then I put beautiful, and I went around it with a pink glaze pen. Probably can't see that very well. And I put that on mounting, sticky, the foam tape. So that's that one. And this is the back. So I called this one Floral Beauty. Put the date, Scrap Lady, and my email address and my YouTube name. And then it says number blank of blank. Well, I'm just numbering them 1, 2, 3, 4 as I do them, not of, whatever. So that's one of them that I did. This one, I picked up this kind of, it's foam sheets, and you can run it through an embossing folder. And I had found a whole bunch of these, and they were already embossed. So I thought that would make a fun little ATC card, and look at what I did with it. I went through my buttons and different things like that, and so yeah, I kind of did something a little funky there. And this one is called Rain or Shine, and again I filled in the back. And then I did this one. I cut this out. I cut the girl out from I forget what paper pack it was, but anyways, it was a vintage paper pack. I cut the girl out. She was actually on a roller skate. This leg was already cut off, and this foot was on a roller skate. And so it's from a vintage paper pack. So I cut her out, and then she was black and white, so I kind of added some color to her plaid skirt, and then I added just a clear, I don't know if you can see it, a clear pen to her shirt, and then to the yellow milk jugs I had a yellow marker, the At You Spica marker that makes things like glittery, and I did the same thing with the bows in her hair. And then I just put a stamp on this side, 50 cents that I had. I just thought that was kind of went with it, and a little piece of bling on the bottom. And then I put rickrack around it in between the two cards, and did it like that, and then there's the back. So nothing fancy or anything, I'm just kind of having fun with them. And then this one is actually, well, I'll do another video. I'll show it to you, but I have to do another video on this one. So this is another one that I did. And what I did was I had this butterfly embellishment, rhinestone embellishment, and so I put it on some green paper, and then I just cut out inside the wings, and I put the same thing. I put lace around the outside of this paper all the way around, and I had actually mounted it on the same green paper, but you can't see it because it's underneath the lace. It doesn't even show. And then I just put some little bling over here and over here, and then this I cut out with my one of the dies that I have, and then again the same thing, filled out the back. So those are the ones I've made so far. I've been having lots of fun with them, and I can't wait to start the challenge and to start receiving them and start sending them out. So I'm going to continue making them. They're fun to make, very easy to make. I started working also on the cards for my Pass It On challenge. Just got the bases put together, so I'll work on those more tomorrow after my doctor's appointment. Like I say, I have a lot of time to sit, and I can't walk very much or do very much else, so this is a great thing because I'm doing a lot of crafting and I'm having a lot of fun. So anyways, alright everyone, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!